Hey guys, this is part 2A because it's complicated, but trust me, 2A. Okay. Lesson with a student. He's trying to get back to the basics. He plays good, generally speaking. So as we look into this, we're going to see the basics from a little different point of view, and we'll be defining what this, maybe the key would be to play specifically. Okay, and you can see the tree is a bit complex, so bear with me. Okay. I play here. He's thinking to himself, great, I don't feel pressure in the upper left, so I'll take a corner. Nice big move, done deal. I stop the game immediately. No, that's not specific enough. This is a big move, period, the end. One purpose move. White has an excellent chance of building a nice top area. White, dare I say, lusts after this move, closing the skirt of my fourth line stone. So he's like, oh, and he's starting to get it, right? Now, of course, he knows this stuff, but you hear the stuff, it takes me a long time. You hear it again. Finally, it starts clicking. And I'm hoping it's clicking with him. So he switches it to here. I said, exactly. Same move, exact same move, but in a position that does more than just take the corner. Limits what white can do there. Okay, let's play this one out. I attack, trying to force him to see the board. Like, and well, what's specific here? How shall we look at this? Uh, he's thinking, I'm feeling a lot of pressure up there. I need to respond. As we looked at it, well, what we did was, let's imagine you play away, which is rather specific. Just like A is limiting what B can do, C is limiting what D can do. So it's again a very big move. What's white going to do now? So we looked at the different ways white might attack black. I went this way on a fix the weakness. He started fixing here, but it leaves a real weakness, right? That's a big weakness. Okay, so we switch to here. Once that's done, we have three options for health. We can escape, go under, or live in the corner. White says you're not getting out. And we had a discussion, does black still have three options? And we finally decided the answer might be yes, but white can remove two options at once. Now you don't have living. That's what we were calling number 3 was number 2, life. Number 3, life. Number 1, running away. But again, white can take two of them away in one move. So yeah, we best play. And he ran before living, right? Oh, we can live in the corner. I'm alive. Well, let's run before living, which would be correct. And we didn't do too much. Then here, okay, where for black? Now, let's look a little bit. Let's look at moves that are reasonable. A, B, C, D, E, F. I think G. stops white from doing anything there, and next black can start growing the top well. I think G's playable. I could be wrong. It's a little slow, but if white plays there, black's trapped somehow. I mean, it's a move. Let's not talk about G other than it might be playable. It's a lot of things to do. And as long as you play a rational move, everything's fine. But this lesson was about getting specific. So what else is going on? Some big black thing? Well, it's a big black area on the right. I keep clicking it. Of course, that is in general by itself. Doesn't take even 1 point. It says in the future, I'm going to get points, which might be true. It should be worth nearly a whole move, but it doesn't accomplish anything specifically. His first thought, I'd like to come up. I said, no. The thing white wants here, the statement is, I'm taking a large left. That's when he rung in. It was very helpful when he did this. It says, one move readouts. I said, that's it. You just look at one move for black and or white, both, do one move readout. Well, then all of a sudden, of course I should come under and take all that away. I'm getting this thickens up my corner, taking away from white, attacking the one stone, blah, blah, blah. It's a great move. The difference between this and this is a big one. White can play this way, still threatening big left and threatening dropping down to the bottom. So many things to do. Okay, so now we're going to look at some more variations here. Okay, so I attacked. He went this way next. Oh, so we tried ignoring. So, let's just play here to ignore. Put it anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. We're going to look at the upper left. Do you have to play there? Okay, so white attacks. We started here. Black, white, black, white. He haunted. Yes, it's specific. Just a second. SNFC. Control. I don't know. Sounds important, but I'll do it later. And he's thinking, yeah, I'm pressuring that group and that white stone. Yeah, but you're cut. Oh, right. More specific. So just get out. Done. Black's perfectly safe. So yes, we could play away. Okay. Then we tried this one. I went this way, which is particular to this situation. Atari, fix. That way white played allows me to connect this way. So it's a kind of a Tsuji sort of thing. If you've got A and you're coming in the 3-3, then play the BC combination because you can connect at E. Don't worry about it. It's just a thing to do. And then black probably wants to clean things up, and he's got a perfectly wonderful position. Yeah, white got more, but white had 3 moves before black. No problems. Okay, so that's fine. Did we do another one? Oh, we looked at, and this might be worthwhile. So again, this series of lessons, of videos, is all about students, what they're learning, and how you might be wanting to learn that, how it might be useful to you, right? Because as soon as someone asks a question, oh, I was wondering about that too. Okay. So moves that we don't want to play. These are all inside moves. Moves we do want to play. The outside moves. That's the squares. There's running squares that breaks white's natural line, and then there's just living in one move with the 3-3. That's not running before you live, but it is living in one move. So we went through, played out all these variations. Does it work? We played out all these variations, which is one of the inside moves that works. He pointed out how this doesn't quite get out, and I argued that it did, but looking at it now, it kind of doesn't. I believe it's one of the Joseki, but just get out. Yeah, so there's the getting out move. And we went through all of these, and I had him play out both sides of all the variations. And that's a good exercise because he'd play one out and go, that's completely unreasonable. You have to go find why it's unreasonable. Oh, that's right. Okay, you need to play it out more responsibly, step by step. It's a good exercise. Okay, so we looked at all that. Was there something else? We looked at this. We already did that. Responding. Okay. So that was our first attempt based on this move. Second attempt, we went this way. He defends, perfectly fine move. I attack. And he found it confusing. The big thing he learned on this one, on this variation, was if you think it clearly, then the moves start becoming very clear. He actually got the right move on the first attempt. But you should have heard his tone. Well, I'm kind of thinking that if I do this, then that happens. And it was kind of this complicated, non-confident. It happened to be correct, but it's not something he knew or had a reason for. Okay. So what the clarity is, yeah, black's behind enemy lines and the corner's open. Black's weak. But we can't get surrounded in one move. So we have a moment to do something else. So let's look at the something else's we might do. Let's play on top, totally hurting the white stone, right? We could pinch tighter, but this is a little better. Maybe one more, it doesn't matter. Somewhere in here. White comes up, then we come up, right? Because now one move and we're surrounded. Great. That's a good time to get out. And white has 2 weak groups. Great. Another thing we can do just before we get out is attack on this side. White says, no, I need to get out. Great. Then we get out. We succeeded. Now, all the moves we looked at so far are side pinches. But if we look at the position and say, what do I want? This seemed to be a good start to get his head in the right spot. Here I am. I'm not sure what I need to do. What would I like to do if I'm going to respond, which I've already decided I want to? Well, corner's always nice. I prefer the corner to the side. We looked at 2 side moves. Let's look at the corner move and get out. Holy cow. That's a real corner. That's cash. And white has 2 weak groups. So that's a third thing we can do before we get out. Black, white, black. Okay, hoping some of this is hitting someone and going, ooh, I'm getting that. Attack over here. This leads to a long conversation. Just what should we be thinking here? How do we find specific play? His first thought is, well, I'd like to, attack both these stones. So that's a reasonable idea. So now this is leading to, as you're working, so when it's your move in a game and you're thinking about this, you need to think it through. And that is, you'll likely be getting this area? Well, you already have a very strong position there, and it's a pretty small area. You actually don't want that. So the goal for him is to be able to, as he's doing short readouts, really it's a one move readout. Actually, I don't want that stone. Good information. Okay. Not only that, but it's kind of deep. You played inside white, you could get in some trouble. So if you want to do that, fourth line, now you're not going to get in trouble. Oh, but then white can connect under. We don't care if white plays on the first and second line. Go right ahead. Play all you want on the second line. Doesn't bother us. We don't care. So we like that white playing a slow move. So that's one idea. That's how we looked at this. Okay. So from here, I attacked, which is unreasonable, but it puts him in a position. How do I think this through? How do I play specifically? His first thought, he said, and students do this all the time. Well, I was thinking if I built a wall, then this would happen. I get that thing, whatever. And I'm like, sorry, I'm lost. Show me. So he built this wall to get that area. I said, yeah, you don't want that area. Oh, that's right. I don't want that area. So help A, don't hurt B. White wants to give B up. That's the useless one. Help A, hurt C. Okay. That might look like this move. White does what? It's hard to come up with a good move here for white. We looked at a number of variations, and they're all great for black. So that's possible. We're not saying this is best. We're saying here's one appears to be a rational path. It's a little thin, but it looks like 3-1 in black's favor on the left. So shouldn't be too difficult. And then we looked at so let's look at this one more time. Boom, white's alive. So what are you really accomplishing? Well, I'm getting this itty bitty tiny area. It's like 7 points in here. I guess I don't want that either. What do you want? There's that question again. Well, why not the corner? So let's look at the corner. Black, white, black. Well, that's a nice corner. Not that it's yours yet. But white has to do something here or it's going to die. If I'm white, I'll probably play here. And we can still get out. And if we threaten to save the stone, now the corner's real. There's so many things we can do. So you don't need to save the stone. But if you ask, there's so many things, there's so many variations here. What do I want? It's really hard to attack any meaningful stone. Can I take the corner? Yes, you can. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. We looked at that. 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 We looked at this without pinching, and white's getting something a little too attractive, too easy for white. So we decided not to do that. Oh, this is one of those variations. Black, white said Atari, went for life. We captured the cutting stone and ladder. White took life. We captured the other stone. And now black has an amazing position in the center, super strong. White's very low and unimpressive. Better for black. Okay, well, that's it on this video. We're looking at basics from the point of view of what the heck is going on? What are the specific things going on? And how do we respond to those specific things? Hope it helps someone. Catch you in the next part. Bye.